You wake up every morning and the first person you face isn't the world. It's you, the reflection in that mirror that's your greatest opponent and your greatest ally. It's not the haters, not your parents, not society holding you back. It's the version of you that chooses comfort over progress, excuses over effort, and fear over faith. Every day is a war between who you are and who you're meant to become. You say you want success. You say you want peace. You say you want more out of life, but do you really mean it? Because the truth is, you're not fighting anyone else out there. You're fighting your own laziness, your own weakness, your own doubt. That's the real battle, and until you win that one, you'll never conquer anything else. This is you vs you, the version of you that says, I can't, and the one that whispers, watch me, the one that sleeps in, and the one that grinds in silence, the one that gives up, and the one that refuses to quit. Every choice you make builds one and kills the other, so ask yourself right now, which version are you feeding today? Discipline is the foundation of every powerful life. It's what separates those who dream from those who do. Most people live trapped by their emotions. They wake up tired and let that dictate their effort. They feel unmotivated and decide that means they shouldn't act. But feelings are temporary, weak, and inconsistent. They change with the weather. They shift with your mood, and they destroy your potential if you let them lead. Discipline, however, is solid, unshakable, and reliable. It's the quiet decision to show up regardless of how you feel. It's doing the workout when you're exhausted, working on your goals when you're uninspired, and holding yourself accountable when no one's watching. The truth is, your emotions can lie to you, discipline never will. Every time you choose discipline, you remind yourself who's in control, and that control becomes your strength. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's built brick by brick through consistent repetition of hard choices. Every time you resist the urge to take it easy, you're training your mind to obey your commands instead of your feelings. That's how champions are made, not in moments of excitement, but in moments of resistance. People talk about motivation as if it's magic, but motivation fades. It's discipline that carries you when the spark dies out. The greatest warriors, athletes, and creators don't rely on being in the mood. They've mastered the art of showing up regardless. Every day you honor discipline, you build inner strength, mental armor, and self-trust. You begin to realize that the version of you who does what's necessary, not what's comfortable, is unstoppable. The world is full of people waiting to feel ready. They tell themselves they'll start next week, when life feels right, when they're motivated again. But that day never comes because readiness is an illusion. The secret is that no one ever feels ready. The disciplined person understands this and acts anyway. Discipline means doing what's necessary, especially when you don't want to. It's a commitment to progress over perfection. Every time you move forward when you'd rather sit still, you're strengthening your mental edge. That's where power comes from doing what most people avoid. The moment you stop waiting for the right feeling, you start winning. That's the real shift when you no longer need motivation to move. You've already become a different breed. The disciplined person doesn't negotiate with the mind. Feelings say, sleep in, but discipline says you have goals. Feelings say you're tired, but discipline says you're capable. Every time you listen to discipline instead of emotion, you gain control over your life. That control gives you freedom. Ironically, true freedom isn't doing whatever you want, it's having the strength to do what you must. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's a form of self-respect. It's how you prove to yourself that you deserve more. People who live without discipline are prisoners of their impulses, constantly chasing short-term comfort while sacrificing long-term peace. But those who practice discipline live with purpose. They don't react to life, they create it. Discipline is forged in discomfort. It's built through sacrifice, repetition, and consistency. There will be days when your mind screams for rest, when everything in you wants to quit, and that's when you grow. Those moments of resistance are where character is formed. The disciplined person doesn't look for easy paths. They look for challenges because that's where strength is found. Each difficult day becomes proof that you can endure. You begin to see that pain isn't punishment, it's transformation. Discipline teaches you patience, resilience, and focus. It strips away weakness, layer by layer, until all that remains is power. The ones who succeed in life aren't the most talented, they're the ones who endure when others don't. When you rely on discipline, not emotion, life becomes simpler but stronger. You stop chasing comfort because you realize it's a trap. Comfort feels good for a moment, but it costs you growth. Discipline, on the other hand, feels painful now but rewards you forever. Every act of self-control compounds into greatness. When you say no to distractions, when you choose work over ease, when you push through exhaustion, you're making deposits into your future. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding struggle, not realizing that struggle is the birthplace of greatness. The more you run from discipline, the weaker you become, but the more you embrace it, the more unbreakable you get. There's a quiet power that comes with discipline. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's deeply rooted. It's the confidence of knowing you can rely on yourself. That's something most people will never feel. True self-trust. You gain it only when you've proven to yourself, again and again, that you'll show up no matter what. That's why discipline is the highest form of self-love, because when you practice discipline, you're protecting your future self from regret. You're showing love through action, not words. The undisciplined person says they want a better life. The disciplined one builds it, brick by brick, day by day. Discipline demands sacrifice, but sacrifice gives meaning. You can't have both comfort and greatness. You have to choose. Every hour spent working on your goals is an hour stolen from laziness. Every temptation resisted is a step closer to mastery. The disciplined life is hard, but the undisciplined life is harder. Regret weighs more than effort. The pain of pushing forward lasts for a moment. The pain of quitting lasts forever. Discipline doesn't promise an easy life, it promises a worthy one. When you realize that, the entire game changes. You stop chasing shortcuts because you understand that the grind itself is what shapes you. At the end of the day, your success won't be measured by how often you felt good, but by how often you acted when you didn't. The world remembers the ones who persisted through pain, not the ones who waited for comfort. Discipline is what keeps the fire burning long after motivation fades. It's what separates those who almost made it from those who actually did. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. You'll stumble, you'll fail, you'll doubt yourself, but if discipline stays intact, you'll always rise again. Because discipline doesn't break, it bends, it endures, it outlasts everything else. Inside every person, there are two versions of themselves, one that craves comfort and one that hungers for greatness. The weak version is soft, lazy, and easily satisfied. It whispers lies like you've done enough, you deserve to rest, you'll start tomorrow. That voice wants to protect you from discomfort, but in doing so, it kills your potential. The strong version inside you doesn't speak much, it acts. It doesn't make excuses, it executes. Every day is a war between those two, the version that seeks pleasure and the version that seeks power. And the truth is, only one of them can live. You can't become strong while keeping your weak self alive. One must die for the other to rise. The sooner you accept that, the sooner your life begins to change. The weak version of you has built habits to keep you trapped. It's the one that scrolls aimlessly through your phone when you should be working. It's the one that eats junk food when you promised yourself discipline. It's the one that says, "I'll do it later," and never does. That version feels safe because it avoids failure, but it also avoids progress. It fears pain, rejection, and judgment. But strength is built in those exact moments the weak self avoids. Every time you give in to comfort, you're feeding the wrong wolf inside you. Every time you resist even just a little, you starve that weakness. The process of killing the weak version isn't glamorous, it's painful, lonely, and constant. But it's necessary if you want to meet the strongest version of yourself. The weak version hides behind excuses. It blames circumstances, luck, or people. It says, "I didn't have the chance," or "it's not my fault." But those are lies designed to protect your ego. The truth is, you had time, you just didn't use it. You had chances, you just didn't take them. You had dreams, you just didn't work for them. The weak version wants you to believe that life is unfair, so you can feel justified staying the same. But the strong version knows the only unfair thing is wasting your potential. The world doesn't owe you anything, but it will give you everything if you earn it. And earning it means letting the weak self die, killing the habits, beliefs, and fears that keep you average. Every time you face difficulty and keep going, you're burying that weaker version a little deeper. The process of transformation is war. It's not fought in public. It's fought in silence when no one's watching. It's fought when your alarm rings and your body wants to sleep. It's fought when temptation appears, when quitting feels easier, when your goals feel too far away. Those are the battlegrounds where the weak self tries to survive. But you have to choose to be ruthless. The strong version of you doesn't negotiate with weakness, it eliminates it. You can't be kind to the part of you that's destroying you. You must crush it, challenge it, expose it. Every act of discipline, every act of courage, every act of resistance is a strike against your weaker self. The more you fight, the quieter that weak voice becomes. Killing the weak version of yourself means embracing pain instead of running from it. Weakness fears pain, but strength feeds on it. Every struggle, every setback, every heartbreak can either break you or build you, and that depends on which version of you is in control. Pain reveals who you truly are. The weak you will quit when things get hard, the strong you will dig deeper because it knows growth is born from discomfort. When you stop fearing pain, you start using it as fuel. Pain becomes your teacher. It becomes the fire that burns the weak self away until only strength remains. That's how transformation happens, not through comfort, but through the heat of challenge. The weak version seeks validation, the strong version seeks progress. Weakness needs others to notice the effort. It wants recognition, applause, and comfort. Strength, on the other hand, works in silence. It doesn't post about the grind, it lives it. It doesn't need approval because it's too focused on becoming better. When you stop needing validation, you start building power. You begin to realize that no one is coming to save you. No one is obligated to believe in you. It's on you to believe in yourself enough to act every single day. That's when the weak self starts to die, when you no longer rely on external praise to stay consistent. The weak version thrives in excuses. The strong version thrives in execution. Weakness waits for motivation. Strength acts without it. Weakness says maybe one day. Strength says today. Killing the weak version means changing the language in your mind. You stop saying, "I hope," and start saying, "I will." You stop asking for easy paths and start walking through the hard ones. Because the truth is, the easy road builds soft people. The hard road builds warriors. Every obstacle is an opportunity to choose which version of you survives. When you choose to keep going despite fear, despite exhaustion, despite doubt, that's when the weak version begins to fade. Killing the weak version of yourself doesn't happen once, it happens daily. You'll have to face him every morning. You'll have to fight him every night. He doesn't disappear because you wish it. He disappears because you work it. Every small victory matters, every disciplined choice, every completed task, every resisted temptation. The weak version feeds on inconsistency. The strong version feeds on momentum. That's why consistency matters more than intensity. You don't have to win every battle, you just can't stop showing up. As long as you keep fighting, the weak self has no chance to survive. There's a dark truth about the weak version: it never truly dies. It just gets quieter. It waits for you to get comfortable again, to drop your guard, to stop improving. The moment you think you've won, it tries to return. That's why growth is a lifelong battle. The strong must stay alert, aware, and humble. You can't kill the weak version once and forget about it. You have to bury it every single day. The moment you stop fighting is the moment it starts breathing again. But the more you practice self-control, discipline, and focus, the less power it has over you. Eventually, the strong version becomes your nature, and the weak one becomes just a memory. Killing the weak version of yourself is about liberation, freeing yourself from your own limitations. It's not about hate, it's about rebirth. You can't build a stronger life without destroying the parts of you that don't belong in it. Weakness wants you to stay comfortable. Strength wants you to stay hungry. You must choose hunger, choose growth, choose evolution. Every challenge you conquer becomes proof that you're stronger than you were yesterday. The weak you was afraid of failure, the strong you sees failure as fuel. The weak you wanted comfort, the strong you wants conquest. And every time you choose growth over comfort, you're rewriting your story. Every day of your life is a battle not with the world, not with your enemies, but with yourself. The person you were yesterday is the only real competition you'll ever have. You are your greatest obstacle and also your greatest weapon. The weak version of you wants comfort, excuses, and rest. The strong version wants progress, pain, and purpose. Every choice you make feeds one of them. The question is, which one are you feeding today? Because every second that passes is a test. Will you surrender to your emotions, or will you stand tall and lead yourself with discipline? Will you keep listening to that weak voice that says I can't, or will you silence it with action? Remember, you are capable of so much more than you think. You don't need anyone's permission to become great. You don't need to wait for the right moment. The right moment is now. Discipline will make you unstoppable. Strength will make you unbreakable, and pain will shape you into something the world can't ignore. Kill the weak version of yourself. Rise as the one who never gives up, who never settles, who never quits. Because in the end, it's always you vs you. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and never stop fighting for your better self. God bless you.